We got Amazing Spider-Man number. Oh, I just dropped it. That just happened on live TV. Bro, I just dropped it.
You dropped it?
I dropped 300.
You idiot. That is a sin that is worthy of death right there.
We got Amazing Spider-Man number. Oh, I just dropped it. That just happened on live TV. Bro, I just dropped it.
You dropped it?
I dropped 300.
You idiot. That is a sin that is worthy of death right there.
Your audio's off, my guy.
Hold up. Yeah.
What? What?
To all my brothers who've been thinking we soft, we don't. So I'm in a kind of a Dr. Dre kind of mood.
Hey,
bro, are you rocking?
Nate,
are you rocking the Asylum mug?
This is actually this was a gift from one of my buddy when he got married a couple years ago, and so this is a mug that I got from him.
Those are the best kind of groomsmen gifts. I had one, but I had to throw it away because the marriage didn't last.
Wow.
It's kind of awkward. Went into the fridge, poured it. My wife's like, "What? Where'd you get that mug?" She's like, "Why don't you just throw it away?" Yeah, about that. What is up? It is Saturday night. Football season is among us. It was a great day to be a Trojan. Well, I get to hang out with my buddy. He is Jared Kambakungan, also not Jared Comics 42. Speaking of which, Jared's got some weddings to go to, so he needs to pay. He needs to pay for it because he's the groomsman. He's got to buy shots for the groom, and So if you head over to his Instagram account, right there, link is in the description. Send you to the eBay page.
Yeah, actually,
what do we got? What do we got this week? What do we got? That looks like a crawl. No,
First Null. Venom.
First Null. I'm sorry. I always think in my head I see Null, but I pronounce crawl for some dumb reason. So
it's I'm pulling out the big boys. So this is the rare third print. First Null on the cover, and so this is going at the height of it. It was going for like $800, $700 to $800, right?
Again,
and
right
so
there. Also not Jared Comics 42. Hit up the eBay page.
Yeah, it's already on eBay right now, man. But yeah. Been doing that. I've been selling some pops. I'm trying to offload a lot of my pops nowadays. I already offloaded some pops already, dude.
I got you.
Oh, nice. I
got you.
We talked about this. We talked about it already. My guy.
Oh no. This is new.
Oh, it's new.
This is new. This is for my boy. When you roll up to a CVS and you got to get your 8-year-old some medication. You hook a brother up. We got not one. We got twinsies. We got That's right. Bo-Katan
Bo-Katans. Here's
making the return to Mandalorian season 3, first
And
appearance in the Clone Wars.
Yep.
Speaking of which,
Segue.
this is gonna real quick. Hold up. Come on.
Okay.
I'm Kevin Pillow at Voice of Reason 23. Got to get the self plug in there. All social media accounts.
100%.
This will segue into our first topic. We're gonna go big or go home because we're saving the. Oh, JR wants to sling some shade. We're gonna save that for last. But Bo-Katan making her return to the Mandalorian season 3. We anticipate seeing some footage in the next couple of weeks, maybe. But of course, if I'm not mistaken, first appearance of Bo-Katan was in the Clone Wars. If I'm not mistaken,
It was.
2 episodes deep in right now.
Yeah, it's later seasons. I think it was during the time where, if I remember correctly, it was during the Mandalorian War, where
yes.
Where, spoiler alert for anybody, Obi-Wan had a supposed love interest in the then ruler of Mandalore at the time, which was Bo-Katan's sister. So yeah,
and correct me if I'm wrong. Who is the character from the Clone Wars that will be making her first appearance in Ahsoka Tano's new show coming this winter?
Sabine Wren.
So
yeah, she is she actually was which is interesting because I think she had the Darksaber at the end of Rebels.
Oh,
so
interesting.
Yeah, so we're gonna see how that plays out, and I am super excited. I'm gonna see my girl Sabine. I think honestly, she's the best Mandalorian for me, and so it's a big feat specifically for, like, if you have Boba Fett. Oh my gosh, I'm forgetting his name already, dude.
Din Djarin.
And
you're talking about Mando, right?
Yeah, man, Mando. And so, like, if it's gonna be interesting when we see all of them possibly, in the same room together, because that is just straight fucking fandom for me, dude. If you have all 4 of them in the same room together, Sabine, Bo-Katan, Mando, and freaking Boba Fett in the same room, possibly fighting for who might rule over Mandalore. So it's gonna be a tough time. It's gonna be a tough time for Mandalorian fans. So
hold on. It's felonious. So real quick, I want to throw this out there for you, the fans. Drop us in the comments below if you what you think about this. Thinking about doing another Star Wars episode. We did a whole Star Wars series. You can check it out. Head over to Voice of Reason 23 on YouTube. Yep. Check out the playlist. There's a Star Wars playlist. We cover all of the movies, all 11 movies. Yeah. We do cover in a joint effort. We do all the TV shows. We do Mandalorian season 1 and 2. We do Clone Wars, Rebels, and we don't. I think at that point, Bad Batch really hadn't.
No,
I think it started, but it hadn't finished, so we didn't really get a chance to finish talking about.
Yeah, we didn't really do that because we did a conversation about Extended Universe EU.
Yes, that was kind of we did. But I want to do
what's up?
Like a consolidated Star Wars episode and talk more about fandom, and we'll talk about that maybe later this fall. Things kind of cool down and stuff like that.
I'm down.
So, but that segues right in. Speaking of fandom, it's been canceled. WB announced earlier this week that DC Fandom has been canceled for 2022. Oh my gosh, dude! Anything to take the attention off Bob Chapek, who is the CEO of the Walt Disney Corporation, who has done an absolute shit job as CEO since taking over for Bob Iger, who basically handed him the freaking Golden Palace. The new CEO of Discovery, WB, has just been not the goose that laid the golden egg. This is the white goose shit, now black shit in the pond and just wrecking your local park.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. I say this. This guy's a moron.
Intense Vigil.
He's a moron.
Yeah.
with that said, just throwing it out there. Don't want to talk about it because it's just going to get us all pissed off. But the segues into some good news because guess what happens next week? Even though JR won't be there, is D23. So Disney's like, fuck you, WB. We're going to go ahead and just go for it. We do know that Hall D23, which will take place on Saturday, September 10th, will feature not only Disney, but Pixar, Disney Animation, Lucasfilms, and Marvel Studios. So, JR, I figured there's no better way to do a show 1 week away from Hall D23, which, by the way, to kind of to give the lay of the land, Hall D23 is essentially Hall H for Disney Comic-Con, which is D23.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know what D23 is, that's exactly what it is. It's Comic-Con for Disney. It's at the Anaheim Convention Center. I think it usually splits time between the Anaheim Convention Center and the Orlando Convention Center. So between the two Disney parks, unlike Star Wars Celebration, which goes between Anaheim, Orlando. I think does it do Chicago?
I don't recall.
It is supposed to be in Paris, I think, the next go round.
Okay.
And I believe they also do appear in Tokyo. So there's two domestic locations, Orlando and Anaheim, and then there's two international, and I want to say it's Paris and Tokyo. I could be wrong, but
for D23, right?
For celebration.
Yeah. Okay.
D23, I believe, is only in Anaheim and possibly in Orlando. It's in Anaheim next week. First time since they've had it since 2019, which was also in Anaheim.
Yeah.
Which was freaking Info Dump Part 2.
Yeah.
Of course, Part 1 was at Hall H earlier that summer, and then Part 3 was on December of 2020. So JR and I talked about doing this since he won't possibly be here next Saturday. We are going to do a live stream at about 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning next Saturday.
Yeah.
And we're just going to hit it up. We're going to try to figure out, we're going to have to try right over there where JR normally is. We'll probably have like a Twitter feed or something like that.
Something like that. I'll probably just drop in via wherever the hell I'm at and just probably do like some text messages. I'll probably be on the chat.
So I mean, trust me, we want JR to be here, but you know,
I got a marriage to get to, so I got a marriage to get to, man. So it's understandable.
But so I came up with this idea, and we make it kind of fun because that's what radio does, and I know this is a form of radio. Is there's two big topics that we really give a crap about, and that is Lucasfilms and Marvel Studios. Yeah. So I figured we were going to do, these are JR and Kevin's guarantees that are going to appear in D23, Hall D23, and the one wild card. And I figured I'll go first to kind of, this is what we're doing, not to steal JR's picks, but what do you think? Should we go Lucasfilm or should we go with Marvel Studios first?
I think to get out of the way, let's go Marvel.
Okay, you got it. Yeah. Guys, if you have any comments or previews that you think is going to happen at D23, let us know in the comments below, whether on YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook Watch. And of course, Twitter, we will try to get to you. Help us out. Use the hashtag PSComicsILoveYou. And if you want to throw a little hashtag D23 preview on that, of course, our Twitter account right there at the bottom on the scroll there. It's PS Comics I Love You, just the letter U. So I'll start off with Marvel Studios. I think that the guarantee for Marvel Studios is because there is so many concerned fans about this property. It's a guarantee we are going to get some information about probably one of the most in my opinion, anticipated properties of potentially phase 5, 6, and 7, because they've kind of quietly laid the groundwork for it. Yeah. And it also is allowing one of the most underrated characters to finally get his comeuppance, his ability to be the leading man, which we know he is. He's an Oscar Award winner. And that is, I think we are going to get information about Armor Wars. we're going to get information about the Don Cheadle led War Machine show that is based on a highly underrated but very popular, still popular series. I think it was like from the 80s, maybe the early 90s run of Invincible Iron Man.
Yeah.
And which, by the way, just some great artwork. I actually have 4 of the 6 issues, I think it is, in Armor Wars in my collection, and I just absolutely love that old school, like 80s, 90s artwork. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below, but I think that's kind of the guarantee, because it left so many people worried that they were going to cancel, or that they kind of quietly shelved Armor Wars, but they've been kind of laying the groundwork, most notably in Spider-Man No Way Home, that we're going to get an Armor Wars. What do you think? What do you think? Are we going to get a little Don Cheadle action at D23?
I think that's definitely going to be an announcement, because I think, to be quite honest with you, Riri is going to play a heavy part in Armor Wars. Riri has to play a heavy part. She has to, because like it's one of those things where like you have literally the girl to take up the mantle of possibly being the next Iron Person, right? And so it's like we had the passing of the torch via the comics, I think 2018, like 2017, 2018. When she was first announced.
Appearance was Invincible Iron Man Volume 5, about between 2016 and 2017. I think it was.
I have the second print of I have the first print of that one, actually. The second
I also have first and
the first piece. The second print is the one with Tony and Pepper on the cover, while the first print, it features her with in the suit of the armor. And so I think that was like via 2016, 2017. That's around the same time where it was the Inhumans versus X-Men franchise plotline. I think it was either Inhumans for X-Men or it was a Civil War 2 arc. I forgot which one exactly.
It is Civil War 2, Invincible Iron Man Volume 2. I apologize.
There you go.
And it was issue number 8, I
think. Yeah.
No, first appearance was in 7, I think it was. Let me see.
First appearance or first
introducing the first appearance of Riri Williams, cover of Volume 7. Jared's right. It's Iron Man and Pepper. I think it's more of a cameo. I think it's
cameo. Yeah.
And this is the cover. It's this is cover A. This is a first print, is like a slight red logo. I know it doesn't kind of like come across on camera. The
second print is basically the one, same thing in purple, I think.
No, that's third print. Second print, I think, was blue, and that's a super rare one, by the way.
Yeah.
I think the third print was the highly printed one. It's still, oddly enough, the third print fetches $80 on the open market.
Yeah.
The first print is a little over, almost close to $200 right now.
Yeah.
And then the first full appearance, I believe, is
next issue over.
Is the next issue. So, actually, no, I take that back. No, they are calling. I think that's a cameo. No, according to this, it's cameo and first full appearance is that issue. So, this is what happens when you correct nerds on live television, though.
I don't know. But the thing about that whole thing is so even though it's going to be definitely a tangent right now, it's definitely a weird type of thing, because if we go on like first appearances and first cameos, like wouldn't necessarily Hulk 180 be the first appearance of Wolverine? Because that was a topic of discussion for a very long time. But you see, see Wolverine at the end of Hulk 180. That's the thing.
Wasn't there technically too, like, I know that this was a hotly debated topic about 2 or 3 years ago on Key Collector. We'll go off on a tangent just for a second.
Yeah,
about Wolverine, because there was an ad, wasn't there? An ad like in a really lame book.
Yeah, it was a weird one too. It wasn't even. It was like the version, that year's preview version, like preview books, right? Of that time, of that era. And so it's one of those things where it's 180 should be technically the first appearance or first cameo of Wolverine, but that doesn't really get any buzz because you have Wolverine on the cover of Hulk 181. And it's just one of those things, man, like where the public or collectors, they bitch and moan, complain about, like, no, man, like We have so many of 181. We pay these prices of 181. It should be this, right? It should be 181. That is the first appearance of Wolverine. So I feel like it's the same conversation with the Riri Iron Man, because like it's I don't know, it's interesting, but the same, it's one of those things where it's the market sets the value type of thing, right? We want this at this price. You can't tell us different, even though technically CGC will say which is the actual first appearance. So it's like, it's one of those things where you just kind of just throw your arms up. It's the same freaking thing where, like, what is actually Miles Morales' first appearance? Miles Morales' first appearance was in a preview, but people are people are trying to shun that down. Like, no, man, what the hell are you talking about, bro? Don't do that. And so it's like, again, it's a money thing. It's a collector thing. It's definitely one of those things where if you're looking to really aggregate your money into
and that's
something
what
that's
always shocked me was when when Chick would it was amazing, was like she used to give away those, like, it was mostly Marvel preview books in our pull list, and all of a sudden there was a book called Previews, which I didn't know what it was, and she'd give away. I see this big book and I go, why are people putting this in their pull list? Is this an Overstreet? Is this like the new Overstreet? He goes, no, it's Previews. And I go, it's a preview book. It's a catalog. It's like the Sears catalog for nerds.
Yeah.
Why are you charging for it? Like, I remember that stuff used to come in the mail for free. And she told me basically what it was because there was a few situations where technically a first appearance took place in Previews magazine. And so Chick had to start charging for it because it had a resale value.
Yeah, it's funny too hearing the conversation behind that, because like when comic book shops, right, caught wind of that, they did the same thing, and a lot of collectors, they bitch and moan, complain, like, bro, but like you're bitching and moan, complaining because now that free comic book, right, that free preview book that you got, that you flipped for like $20 to $200 at one point, now you're bitching that you can't get it for free. It's like, bro, like you set the market. So it's hard to have these ideals of ethics when it's a double standard to certain people. It's a double standard to the comic book collecting community, man. And we can get into I want to definitely talk about eventually in another episode in the future about the ethics of comic collecting, specifically in this day and age where we have a lot of influencers now. You heard of that shit that happened in like some of the comic book Comic Cons this year, man? I'm like, bro, like with Whatnot and all that stuff, man.
Whatnot has really kind of gotten out of control.
Yeah, it is horrendous. Like, y'all know what you're doing, man. That's the worst of the comic book community. Like, really putting out. Like, I understand you're trying to make money, and I know you're trying to do these things, but just having this gross negligence, this gross grotesque ideal of like trying to charge $20, $30, $40, $50 for a comic book that is exclusive for a con at a convention, right? And saying that, oh yeah, you can only get these online, they're sold out, all this stuff, and then you sell it for some absorbent fee where the sellers, the exclusive comic book shops give it to you for a discount. I'm like, bro, like, we know what you're doing, man. You're trying to make a buck, but you're the worst version of America type of stuff. You are the crony capitalism that people look at and like, yo, what the fuck are you doing, man? Like, I understand you're trying to make a buck, trying to get some old rails, bro, but like, yo, that like, you're gonna get kicked out real quick of certain circles, man. And like, it's just ugh. Like, it's that when people think of like the horrors of comic book community or like comic book collecting, they can point to that. They can point to exactly that. And so here we are. But moving on, I would say for me,
your guarantee stamp of approval for Marvel Studios.
For stamp of approval for Marvel Studios, I'm gonna go on the safe side. Black Panther.
Yeah, and I kind of like what you were going, because I think that you're right in kind of tying together your comment with your Black Panther is there is a story going around that the Black Panther cast will be in Anaheim next week,
Yeah.
and that the preview for, and there's been a growing, at least around, maybe it's died off a little bit, and maybe fans will be like, show us more. There was a growing call for Marvel Studios to not release a different trailer, to keep the Comic-Con trailer as the only trailer to be released leading up to the movie. That's it. Because if there was an Oscar for best trailer of the year, people would go like, "No, we're good. Just give it to our boy over there at Marvel," because Ryan Coogler hit a home run with that, and his editors killed it. And that song, by the way, the version of "No Woman No Cry," the Nigerian singer who sang it, she went to like #1 like overnight because of that trailer.
Absolutely, of course.
And Bob Marley. This just shows the power of music, not just Disney, but I mean, just in general. When songs get put in trailers or movies like that, they discover Bob Marley, who has always been a hot artist, even in death. And 30, 40 years after he was white hot, he, again, "No Woman, No Cry" by Bob Marley went right back to the top.
Yep.
So
not surprising. But like, just possibly thinking, just going back to the Black Panther, on the Black Panther pick, I feel like that's gonna be there. I feel like, what's gonna happen going forward with the Black Panther franchise, which, like, what's that gonna look like, type of thing. Granted, like, they still have the movie to promote. I would like to have some possible, understanding of like what happens with the rest of the cast. Are we gonna see Riri Williams? Are we gonna see Shuri? Are we gonna see more of other characters there? Or everything gonna be one off? Are we gonna possibly have this another possibly great villain character have a one-off, and die, and that be done with? Which I feel like it's not going to happen, but at the same time, it's like,
I think it's a far gone conclusion that the main antagonist in this movie is going to be Namor the Submariner. And to have Marvel's very first superhero in comic book form be a one-off villain, I think would really set them back as a company. I think there is it will end up being a bigger bad in the
long run
in Wakanda Forever. But so I think that Namor is safe, but I think Namor is always going to be, I think he's going to be an anti-hero, and not an anti-hero like Deadpool. I mean, like a true anti-hero. Like, he's a villain that does the right things, basically. So
what kind of real life comparison would you give him?
Namor the Submariner?
Yes. I'm gonna
James.
go. Oh no! That's not. He's not LeBron. Not even, bro. Like when you talk about the totality of who Namor is and what he has done to the MC, to the Marvel cinema, not the cinematic universe, but like Earth 616, or throughout the whole. Like, we're going fictional, and it's just a basis comparison. The history of this world.
The history of our world was a villain, basically, that does the right thing.
I mean, like he does right by his country, by his form of right is going to be different from the Western thinking of right, because it's selfish. And how we view Namor is that he's selfish, but he's selfish to protect his people. That's it. He's selfish to protect his own people.
Putin.
Yeah. I would probably say
it's really tough because you can't I would go as far as saying Nelson Mandela, but Nelson Mandela is a lot like actually a combination of T'Challa and Namor.
I was gonna go more so Gorbachev.
Yeah, because at the end, Gorbachev, who, by the way, I had no idea, he just recently passed away.
That's the way,
and
it just not just because of the sense of like you're talking about like decades upon decades of the Cold War.
Castello ended up being an asshole.
Same thing with Namor. I mean, he is leveled. He's
Namor
leveled
his own people.
I mean, Namor has killed Namor has flooded multiple countries.
Yeah, I mean, in Avengers versus X-Men, he leveled Wakanda, and they're saying that they may address that storyline. By the way, hold on to your AVX comics. So there's a possibility he may do that to Wakanda in this movie.
I mean, like it's. I was gonna go Biggie with Adolf. I'm like, oh, he has yet to kill. He hasn't gone there yet.
Yeah,
like he hasn't gone there yet.
I see you, but
yeah, it's like
that's always been a tough
motivations. Motivations are a big thing, and you're like how Americans viewed Bush, Bush Jr. going into Afghanistan. Very selfish fucking reason. Very selfish reason. Granted, no, actually not Afghanistan. Going Iraq. Selfish reason for Afghanistan, understandable. Iraq though.
On the surface, yeah, and which is for a whole political science, poli-sci discussion for down the road. But Namor, that's what has me so intrigued about this movie is I want to see how Namor ends up at the end, because people have such a love story, have such a love, almost I guess you would be more of an affair, for Namor the Submariner. And he's not a nice guy. He's
an asshole. He's
been a good guy. He's a prick.
He's an asshole. He's a legit megalomaniac asshole who only thinks of himself, and when he thinks of himself, he thinks of his people. Because one, you gotta look at the Atlantis. When you really look at his character, we've been destroying the ocean as a people. We have been throwing our trash into the oceans for decades now, killing off sea life, doing all this stuff, doing horrendous things in Earth 616. And so he looks at it like, all right, cool, bet. I do the exact same thing to y'all. Like, I'm gonna just do the same thing to y'all. Like, you'll get keep the same energy when I flood your countries. Yeah. So it's like it's Namor is the closer depiction of I forget what storyline it was, but he's a closer depiction of not America, but more so the ideologies of war, of human battle against each other type of stuff, right? Namor is all your horrible dictators rolled into one. It's just that you understand why though. It's like you ruin everything, so I'm gonna ruin y'all back. Yeah. You want the energy, you got it. And so that's that's one of the main reasons why I wanted Namor to be Asian. Because that ideology
is more Asian, I mean, perceived Atlantis, in the comic book than he is in the movie.
Yeah, I mean, Atlantis in Earth 616 was closer to Mandalore. Was closer to Madripoor than it was to anyone else. But hey, whatever. We got what we got. But it's that's why I wanted specifically for Namor to be that, because he was a representation of the fucking the Romance of the Four Kingdoms for China. It's okay, y'all have all these the wars in China happened, and you have all these things. I'm just gonna kill all y'all and take over the country myself. That's basically Namor. I'm gonna slaughter all you until you're all dead and take over the country, and just take over the country and be unified. That's it. That's how I'm gonna do it. It's a very rudimentary way of Romance of the Four Kingdoms, but still, it's the general thought process of who Namor is I'm done with all this stuff. I'm gonna kill you, and I'm gonna kill your whole family in order to gain peace back to my country. And at the same time, I'm gonna try to cause Sue Storm to have infidelities with me because I want to have sex with her. Namor is such a wild fucking character, and I love it. I wish he was Asian, but hey, it's fine. It's fine. We got the guy who's playing him. I watched him in Narcos. He was great.
You know, I was thinking about who he reminds me of.
Who?
Ukraine. Think about it. Ukraine. On the flip side, Ukraine now is fighting back, but Ukraine just leave us alone. Atlantis, leave us the fuck alone.
Yeah.
oh, you threw a bottle into the ocean. All right, Wakanda, we're gonna come fuck you up. Now, in this case, Russia went, we don't like the way you're looking at us. They poked the bear, and now they're,
Yeah.
It's really tough to, and I think this is a testament to the writing since day one of Namor, especially in the 60s and the 70s when he became more flushed out as a character.
Yeah.
In the Silver Age of comic books, and really became this. It's really tough to say he's an anti-hero because I mean I think his
he was more of a,
like JR said, his
he was more of a villain back
his
then.
ideology is there. His idea, what he wants for his country is there. His moral compass is askew.
Yeah, which is fine. It's like it's okay to have villains with great motivating backstories. He had it
makes great writing and great storytelling.
Yeah, unlike the current run of Marvel right now, but then we can talk about it later.
This is the whole comic book industry is now. There's no continuity. The best writing is coming from the one-offs.
The best fucking writing are not even the big two right now.
No, they're not the big two. They're not even the big three. They're not even an Image anymore.
Image,
or not Image? Image.
The Image. Thankfully, Image has I forgot his name. But he's the same author or writer who's writing Something Killing Children. He's doing Department of Truth, as well as Saga's still taking breaks on and off. Walking Dead is gone, and so they're trying to get Kirkman to do something back. I mean, like Kirkman just is running the company, so
as I say, Kirkman's just running Image, right?
Yeah, he's running that in Skybound. So it's like there's only
how crazy is that? The guy walked in as a fanboy into a comic book shop and had to ask what the fuck a pull list was, and now he's running number 3.
Aim big, bro. Aim big and fake it till you fucking make it.
And
when you make it, you gotta fucking you gotta work your ass off though.
Well, look at Jim Lee. Jim Lee was a nobody.
Jim Lee is a talented individual who worked his fucking ass off, and I'm glad he got the shot when he was prepared to. Like luck, like we've said it before many times. Luck is when preparedness and opportunity meet. Like Seneca said the best. So
for those who don't know about Jim Lee's an amazing artist. Draws Batman like a sumbitch.
He's
started off as a nobody. I mean, a nobody at Marvel.
Yeah,
they threw him a bone of writing X-Men.
Yeah,
because his artwork had come up, and he's like, okay, X-Men's like not what it was. This was in the late 90s.
Yeah,
X-Men's not what it was, 20, 30 years prior, or even like 10 years prior with Claremont.
Yeah,
they give him X-Men number one selling book of all time.
Yeah,
it spins off multiple things, gives Rob Liefeld and Macias new life. They jump ship. They create Image. Image basically comes number 3. It's not what the original idea was.
Yeah.
And then Jim Lee ends up at DC, and now runs the show. He is what Stan Lee was to Marvel. Jim Lee is to DC right now.
Jim Lee is, for me, the GOAT. He's the GOAT. Like as much much love to Kirby, to all the greats of old, Jim Lee takes all that, runs with it, and just threw that into the fucking stratosphere.
If there was a modern age artist who deserves to be on the Mount Rushmore, it's Jim Lee.
It's Jim. It's easily Jim.
You cannot lay the ground. We will definitely do them. We've had requests to do. We will do a Mount Rushmore episode of who is the period greatest of all time. We'll do artists. We'll do writers. We'll do editors. We'll do whatever you want us to do. But Jim Lee of modern artists and modern age runs from about 1985 to current.
He's the GOAT.
He is the GOAT of modern age.
He's the GOAT. Like who? Like there's no one else you can really compare to him in the sense of like as much love as I have for the other artists that's been coming up and it has came up consistently. You want to talk about relevancy? You want to talk about the number 1 best-selling book of all fucking time, right?
The closest thing to Jim Lee from a selling standpoint is Robert Kirkman.
Yeah.
You can make an argument for Dan Jurgens because of Superman 75.
Yeah.
But really and truly, Jim Lee deserves to be in the same conversation as Ditko, Romita,
Kirby.
Lee, and Kirby. I know Stan Lee was not necessarily an artist. He was more of a writer. He did draw, but when it comes from an artist standpoint, yes, Romita, Kirby, Ditko, and Jim Lee deserve to be in that conversation. And that is no doubt. Like I said, we'll talk. We will do our Mount Rushmore episode eventually. Just we'll make a little note of it.
I mean, it's these Mount Rushmore, these GOAT arguments for the last couple of years, man. Like, I understand the conversation behind it, man, but like for me, it's Jim. Like, I get that you have you have to give it, you have to give credit to the greats because that's what propelled this medium forward. But at the same time, it's like when we talk about basketball, because basketball is the closest thing, right? People are looking back like, oh, what about Bill Russell? He won 11 rings. What about fucking Will Chamberlain? He's possibly the greatest physical athlete of all time. Like, yeah, but they fucking played in leagues with like 4 teams. Played like 11 times, bro, and like had to win like they played 2 games per playoff run, and then that's the reason why Bill Russell got 11 rings. But then you go get I don't like LeBron as the GOAT, but like LeBron has faced tougher opponents in the last 4 years than the entirety of Bill Russell's whole career. Like, what are you talking about?
And that's why I've always made an argument that people say that they talk about like, oh, is it LeBron or Michael? And people go like, what about Kobe? And I go, what about Magic? What about Magic? The dude single-handedly carried. You talk about Captain LeBron has always had a halfway decent supporting cast. Kobe had Shaq and had a really good supporting cast. Michael had a damn good supporting cast.
I have to butt you that. I'm a Laker fan here. Magic had Kareem Abdul motherfucking Jabbar.
But Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was nowhere to be seen in the finals that first year.
Well, he was injured.
Yeah.
He got injured in the finals, and then every subsequent year. If it wasn't, and again, this is sorry for the tangent people, but then this is me being a Laker fan and basketball fan. If it wasn't for Magic, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar would have retired after that. After his contract ended with Lakers, because there's a lot of things. There was a lot of internal things going on. He was a very devout Muslim at the time, and there's a lot of things that was talked about Kareem. Way before that, Kareem was like 34 years old at the time, 34 or something like that. He finished his whole career. He added more years to his career because Magic Johnson was there, and not only that, but Magic also had a huge fucking cast. He had big game James Worthy. He had. I'm
just talking like that first year
Cooper. Though. His first year was amazing. Don't get me wrong. Like the only freaking rookie who didn't win Rookie of the Year because of Larry Bird, but then like the only rookie, to play all five freaking positions and win the championship and the MVP. Yeah. But Kareem, again, got injured, I think, sometime in the finals. And so, yeah, he's been injured. I just got to say, it's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he has been seen as the GOAT way before Michael has. And I feel like, people are undermining him, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, for being the GOAT. He's won one without, like, he has 6 rings as well. Won one in Milwaukee. And he has won 5 in LA. He could have won 6, to be totally honest with you. Facing against, he could have won 6 in LA if he stayed last year and faced it off against the Bulls in '91. But then, here we go. But aside from that, the GOAT conversation for me, modern Jim Lee.
Jim Lee is pretty hard to argue with.
It's Jim, man, and not only that, but the man is fucking awesome. I love that guy.
Yeah,
I had the pleasure to meet him a couple times,
and I've met him too, and he's just super chill.
Yeah.
Speaking of the GOAT.
Mm-hmm.
George Lucas creates Lucasfilms, sells it to Disney for a couple billion dollars. Yep. And they turned around and I think they've more than doubled their investment with the sequel trilogy, with movies like Solo and Rogue One, which, by the way, watched it again today. I'm going to tell you right now, fight me, Rogue One could be one of the top 3 Star Wars films of all time. Could be even the top 2.
That's tough. I'll give you it.
Okay. Well, I look at it from the guy, whoever directed Rogue One deserves more credit.
Well, yeah.
Because he dared to go back to 1977.
That's true.
and the dogfighting with the X-wings and the Y. And I get it. You know, it's not modern time. You don't have the black X-wings. You don't have these modern weapons that they use in the J.J. Abrams trilogy, and then the sequel trilogy. And it's not the sleek weapons that they used in the prequel trilogies because it was a different time. This was a worn-torn galaxy, so you had these really kind of. But George Lucas has said multiple times over that the X-wings were designed after the P-52 Mustang, and that the TIE fighters were based on the Japanese Zeros, and the dogfighting that went on during World War II between the Japanese and the United States, which was very limited. It was the dogfighting was more between the Germans and the United States, but that's what George Lucas wanted. He wanted to show dogfighting. He wanted to show these sky battles in space. And I think that whoever directed Rogue One really hit that with that final battle scene. And my son, who saw Rogue One for the first time today, made it about 15 minutes into it about 2 or 3 days ago and tapped on it. He's like, it's so boring. All they do is talk. Well, I said, you have to wait till it gets to the middle of the movie. And once they get to the base, the beach base, it's on like Donkey Kong, and just so much. I even forgot how good that battle was, specifically the battle. And it was A New Hope. It was like A New Hope. It was like Return of the Jedi. And it was just really old school filmmaking. So that being said, what are my guarantees for Lucasfilm to announce? Now, the easy one would be the fifth part of an iconic movie franchise getting a trailer and more footage announced. That's not what I'm going with. I'm going to go out of left field. This is not my wild card pick. This is my guarantee. We are going to get information on Rogue Squadron. Rogue Squadron has been quietly in the background being developed, almost to the point where people thought it was canceled. This movie is being made by the Wonder Woman director,
Patty Jenkins.
Alluded to me.
Patty Jenkins.
Her father and her grandfather both were pilots in, I believe, the Navy. And she has always wanted to make, as in her words, a kick-ass dog-fighting movie.
Yeah.
She has also always wanted to make a Star Wars movie. She's been in love with Star Wars since she was a young filmmaker and a child. She, just like everybody else, fell in love with A New Hope in 1977 and has not let go of this franchise. Of course, during the quote, as JR labels it, the info dump of December of 2020, the teaser showed Patty, I think, riding like a hoverboard across a tarmac in Burbank, or I don't know where it was, but she's run across. She goes over to a car and changes clothes and into an orange flight suit, very reminiscent of, you guessed it, Rogue Squadron. And she turns around, and the camera pans around, and there is a full-scale, real-life, original series X-Wing on this tarmac. And I geeked out. I know JR geeked out. And I know that Rogue Squadron is something that they've been wanting to tackle for quite some time. And I'm really looking forward to this. So I think that we are going to get more information about Rogue Squadron and what this means to the greater Star Wars universe and what Patty can bring to Lucasfilms. So, what do you think about Rogue Squadron? And what's your pick for the guaranteed Lucasfilms announcement?
Well, I wasn't Gina Carano attached to Rogue Squadron, or was something else?
She was attached to her own show, which was the
it was the first something, right? It was like Marshals or something like that. Something
Marshals of the New Republic.
Yeah. Marshall, was Marshall New Republic or something like that?
Basically, they were going to tell the story. I'll look it up. It was like the story of basically her story about being Marshall.
Yeah, and also the director for Rogue One is Gareth Edwards, which is, I think at that point he's only made 4 movies, including Rogue One. Factory Farm came out in 2008. Monsters 2010. The Godzilla movie that featured Elizabeth Olsen. He made that movie, and Rogue One. And so he's making another movie that's going to come out in 2023. And
Rangers of the Lost Republic.
There you go, Rangers of the Lost Republic. And so Gareth Edwards, the director for Rogue One, I'm surprised that he hasn't made anything other than that, man. But like, hey, you go out with a bang with Rogue One, you can do whatever the hell you want. Yeah. And so, but for me, I will say, actually, to go on Patty Jenkins. I'm holding back my expectations. I'll say that because Wonder Woman 84 killed a lot of my hype for Patty Jenkins. I'll say that because it was very Wonder Woman 84 for me in the terms of directing felt very preachy, and it felt very preachy, not in the sense of like, oh, I'm woman, hear me more, but more so just like this whole, coming into hands together of just trying to like, we're all one kin. Like, come on, it's not Chitara. Chitara wants to destroy and kill Wonder Woman. Like, it's not like whatever. That really kind of like knocked my excitement off for another Patty Jenkins movie. Granted, I'm still gonna come in with like an open mind to see what she has in store for that movie. So if it comes out, if there's any information about it, I'll temper my expectations. My definite guaranteed pick, though, we're gonna get more information about Ahsoka. Like I'm gonna back my girl. I'm gonna back my fucking girl. We're gonna get the information about Ahsoka, and Sabine's gonna be there. Sabine's gonna be there because we already have the actress who's gonna play her. I'll warm up to her because of how much I love Sabine, and so I will definitely see that. We'll definitely see that, and not only that, but I'm hoping we see a lot more of the Rebels cast as well. Hopefully, if we finally get a live action appearance of everyone. But yeah, Ahsoka, we're gonna see, and hopefully we'll get a reveal of. Oh my gosh, I forgot his name. She's chasing after him. Oh my god, dude, he's an amazing.
Oh
my god, he's awesome. Why am I forgetting his name? Admiral Thrawn. Thank you very much. I am not feeling it right now, but yeah, hopefully you get more information about that. That is my definite pick. We need to figure out because I fucking love Rosario Dawson. I love her so damn much. They fixed the amount of fixing they gave of not really fixing, but more so like legitimate. I guess like they made her look more like Ahsoka from the comic, from the animated series in Book of Boba Fett. I'll just say that. So hopefully we'll continue this path. We'll see how going forward. I'm glad Rosario Dawson is fucking amazing and much as a geek because we all are. We all knew, and. We'll see more of her. We'll see more of Sabine. We'll see more of possibly Ezra. Hopefully we'll see more of the other side characters. Hopefully we'll also see. It's going to be interesting to see. Hopefully we'll see Rex, a decommissioned clone trooper captain, and so maybe we'll see Rex. I wonder if it's gonna be forget the actual actor's the actor's name, who played all the clones. Who played Boba? Yeah, who played Boba? I just forgot his name at the moment. But yeah, I wonder if we'll see him, playing as Rex, as an older Rex, but with a beard. And so we'll definitely see if that is going to come to be. But yeah, that's my definite pick. We're gonna see Ahsoka.
So that will lead us to, and I agree with you on that. I think Ahsoka, which had some footage released at San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah.
I think the guarantee too is like Jared said. I think we're guaranteed by weekends end, we will get to see the footage that Hall D23 and Hall H saw of Ahsoka. We will see the footage that Hall H and Hall D23 will most likely see of Mandalorian season 3, which a lot of people are saying is the heavily influenced by the purge of the Mandalorian War. which I believe is, what is it, the Night of 1,000 Tears, or the Night of 1,000, something like that.
It's the Black Watch, the Black Watch.
They hinted at it in Book of Boba Fett, where they showed the TIE bombers bombing Mandalore.
Yeah, it's, you actually see it during Clone Wars. You actually see it during Clone Wars saga. You see the again, man. Like, for those who really want to see what's going on, what's going to happen with Book of Boba Fett or the upcoming Mando season 3, watch Clone Wars. Yeah. It's Filoni. It's Filoni and all that staff just putting in work to really just further the focus and ideals of Lucasfilms. Like, just watch Clone Wars, and you will definitely see
I'm in the midst of doing that right now. So
I'm telling you, bro, like, you'll understand why there was a war. You'll understand why there was divisions. In fact, you'll understand why there's so many other themes at play, and hopefully Filoni just really has his hands in this season and just really takes it from, like, hey, no, this is how it's got to be done. Like, really, this is how it's got to be done, because we do need that type of, like, attention to detail. As much as I would love to see the other takes from directors, this is too much close to the chest, specifically where, like, you're trying to talk about, like, who's going to rule Mandalore now, right? Who's going to rule what's the future of Mandalorian? What Mandalorian is going to be this coming forward? Is it going to be Sabine? Is it going to be Bo-Katan? Is it possibly going to be another Mandalorian? You know, so we will definitely see how this is going to play out. Yeah, but the Night of 1,000 Tears as well, like, just a lot of crazy shit just happened. So
that leads us to the third part of our D23 preview, and we'll get more into it next Saturday during our live stream, and that is our wild card picks. This is based on so I'll start with this.
You want to add in? Do you want to add in, like, a Pixar wild card as well, or possibly just some other Disney one?
You got. Well, I'll let you. You got something for Disney Pixar? What you got, brother? What do you think is a guaranteed Walt Disney Pictures? I guess I kind of have an idea for Walt Disney Pictures.
For Pixar, for Pixar, I will say, did Pixar do Frozen? No, they didn't do Frozen, did they?
No, that's at Walt Disney. That's Disney Animation.
Disney Animation will do Frozen 3. They need money. They need money, and I think Pixar will possibly. They did Soul, which came out a couple years ago. But
and that was actually a surprisingly decent movie,
bro. They won I think an Emmy, a Globe. It won a bunch of stuff, bro.
I don't think it won best. Music. I don't think it won best animation.
For music, for the music.
Oh yeah. Oh, which, by the way, real quick sidebar. Chadwick Boseman posthumously wins the Emmy for voice acting in an animation. For What If, as his portrayal of Star-Lord. Of course. So congratulations to him as Prince T'Challa portraying What If Yondu kidnapped T'Challa instead of Peter Quill, and so T'Challa became Star-Lord, which was one of my favorite What If episodes. And by the way, it's the only Disney Plus show I have not rewatched. I think a lot of it has to do with I'm not ready to, even though I've watched Black Panther again since. I'm not ready to go back and see Chadwick's last work. So a guarantee from that side, probably a guarantee from Walt Disney Pictures. We're going to get some information about the Haunted Mansion, and that is a movie they're working on. No, it's not the Eddie Murphy movie from the back in the 1990s. This is a remake. And it is more directly based on the ride. It's not a movie on the ride. I think that they're kind of gearing towards possibly doing the pre-Avengers cinematic universe that Disney wanted to do, and that was called the Magic Kingdom, where they were going to do a series of movies based on attractions
Oh, that's right.
Other parts
Yeah.
of Disneyland, which included Tomorrowland, which ended up being a complete disaster and totally different spinoff.
Yep.
But like they were going to do Big Thunder Mountain. They were going to do a movie on the Matterhorn. They're going to redo Haunted. Well, actually, they were going to consider the Eddie Murphy Haunted Mansion as canon. They were going to do the Jungle Cruise. And there was, I thought they were going to do Splash Mountain, and I think they were going to tie in Pirates of the Caribbean, and they were going to do almost on the verge of doing a, what was that game called? Kingdom of Hearts.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But it was going to be called Magic Kingdom. But that never happened, and Disney got Marvel, and they did the Avengers instead, thankfully.
Yeah.
But my guarantee is I think we're going to get information about the Haunted Mansion.
Okay.
I know it's a movie that's in development. I think it's supposed to come out in 24.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
wild cards.
Okay. Let's go.
And this is something that's based on. This is something that's totally out of left field with no real credence, because basically the information that we just gave you on our picks are based on information that we've heard. Obviously, Armor Wars they've been talking about.
Yeah.
Since it got snubbed at Hall H and at San Diego Comic-Con. Wakanda Forever, I think, is a guarantee that they're going to bring that back and give us more information. I think it's like JR said, it's going to be more Riri Williams centered.
Yeah.
From Lucasfilms, Ahsoka's a safe pick, and
Yeah.
and Rogue Squadron almost is bordering on a wild card pick, but my wild card pick, and this is based on when they announced back in 2016. They announced during Hall D23, they announced the creation of they announced the creation of Galaxy's Edge, the Star Wars land at Disney's Hollywood Studios and Disneyland.
Mm-hmm.
I think we are going to get the announcement at Hall D23 that we are going to get an expansion / update to Galaxy's Edge. I think it's been open since 2019, so it's only been open for 3 years, but it is for a land, it's actually quite large. It's bigger than Tomorrowland. I think it's slightly bigger than Fantasyland. It might be as big as Frontierland, but Frontierland also includes Tom Sawyer's Island, which actually I don't even think is open anymore. But Galaxy's Edge is definitely one of the biggest lands in Disneyland, and easily one of the biggest lands in the Walt Disney World Resort. I just think that we are going to get more information about a potential expansion of Galaxy's Edge, or at least a slight update. I'm not talking about a refresh, a slight update. And what I mean by that is I think we are going to see other parts of the Star Wars IP being added to Batuu. As of right now, Batuu, once you enter into Galaxy's Edge, you enter into the planet of Batuu, and you enter into a time period that takes place between The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker. That is the timeline that the land takes place. Hence, the events of Smuggler's Run, the events of Rise of the Resistance, all take place in that window of a couple of years between those two movies. They have loosened it a bit, and they have allowed other characters outside of the sequel trilogies to roam Galaxy's Edge, and that, of course, is Boba Fett and Cynic Font, which would be Ming-Na Wen's character from both Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett. Those are the only two non-sequel characters to roam the lands. Now, it's also a possibility that we could see an expansion of the sequel characters to roam around the lands, including maybe we'll see a more active version of Hondo, which made his appearance actually at a launch party for Rise of the Resistance. So they actually have a costumed character. They have a cast member that plays Hondo, who, by the way, first appearance was in Rebels or Rogue or in Hondo.
I think they retcon him to be, because they retcon him in a comic book form. I just forgot exactly where.
But I know he existed. He appeared in one of the animation movies or animation shows, and of course Hondo is he runs a syndicate of smugglers. He's a pirate, and he in canon, for those, spoiler alert, have never read Smuggler's Run at Disneyland or Disney World. Hondo runs a smuggling crew, and he has borrowed the Millennium Falcon from Chewbacca, and you drive the Millennium Falcon to do these space pirating things, whatever, for him. And it's very vague, but it's kind of vague. It is anti-First Order, but he's not quite working for the Resistance. So it's a fun ride. It's a thrilling ride. But he has never made a flesh appearance in Disney World or Disneyland except for the launch party of Rise of the Resistance, where they did a huge production around the land. So I think that we'll get characters like him, possibly characters like Din Djarin, the Mandalorian, which would be awesome in person. Maybe Yoda, Grogu, but I think that it is a foregone conclusion that we are going to get your girl in costume, in the flesh, in Galaxy's Edge, and that would be Ahsoka Tano, or Ahsoka Tano, whenever you want to pronounce it. Yeah, I think that we're going to see a update / possible expansion of Galaxy's Edge at D23. The only reason I say this is because they're talking about at least a Disney World where just outside of one of the gates of Galaxy's Edge, about 100 yards away, is Star Tours. And they are trying to find a way to get Star Tours included in Galaxy's Edge, but it would completely mean redeveloping that backstage area, including maybe even moving Muppets 3D, which is in that part of the park. So I don't know. It may be too much of an overtaking to do, but I think at least a slight update to Galaxy's Edge will be announced. So
I have no clue what anything you just said right now. No, because like, no, it's fine because like
you've been to Galaxy's Edge, right?
No, I'm not a Disney. I'm not a Disneyland person.
I thought you got to go.
No, I hate Disneyland.
Your sister's been.
Yeah, she has the seasonal. She literally went twice this month. I'm not the type of person who would go openly to places like that. Like, granted, like if you gotta go ahead. I just don't see the intrigue of paying $100 to walk around a space for hours on end. I have to wait in line. I did that before when I was younger. I don't like it. I'm just gonna be pissed off if I go to a Smuggler's End because of all the stuff that's gonna be sold off already. Yeah. Right? It's like I'd rather buy that stuff online and have it shipped to me, and I'd rather, like, that's just me. That's just me though. So like, and to be quite honest with you, man, that is, for me, your pick. That's the safest left field pick I've ever heard in my life. Well, you're telling me that that Smuggler's Run is not gonna extend at the multi-billion-dollar property that is based on a multi-billion-dollar product that's continually selling multi-billions right now as we speak, is not gonna extend? Is not gonna have these characters?
Well, that's the thing, is they're so set in their ways about telling this story over and over again, day in and day out, to potential repeat customers.
Okay.
Which I have nothing against, because I will go there gladly and ride Rise of the Resistance as many times as I can, and Smuggler's Run. But I think at the same time too is they only have 2 rides in Galaxy's Edge, and that is Smuggler's Run and Rise of the Resistance. And though they don't have a whole lot of land in Anaheim, they do have a lot of land in potentially in Orlando to expand it and add other things. Part of me wants for it to stay the same because I'm such a traditionalist, and I like the idea that they stay in character, that Batuu is a quote real place, and that you are a part of the magic. You are no longer a guest at Disneyland. You are a world traveler, a galaxy traveler who has somehow traveled from Earth to the planet of Batu and visiting Black Spire's outpost, and are instead of going to Winco, you're going to Olga's Cantina. Instead of going to Comic Asylum in Palm Desert, you're going to Doc Ondar's Den of Antiquities. Instead of going to the Ford dealership over here, you're going to Droid Depot. It's I like it, but at the same time, it's like, how do you have a Star Wars land and not once have you had the greatest villain in cinematic history roaming the land, and that is Darth Vader? Not once. Darth Vader has never made an appearance inside Galaxy's Edge, and that is a shame.
How long has Smugglers and how long has Galaxy's Edge actually been in, like,
operation?
Yeah.
Opened, I believe, in June of 2019. It did close during the pandemic. It reopened in the fall of 2020 in Florida and has been open limitedly until this year. And Anaheim just reopened last year.
So I'm saying it's only been 3 years. And like, if you want, it's only been technically operational for about a year and some change.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's one of those things. I feel like COVID really put a bag over everyone's head.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, why is this stuff down? Like, bitch, we had to shut down the whole world for about a year and a half. That's the reason why. And so, like, not to say for you, but like, just like, it's gonna take a while. Like, they just put in Galaxy's Edge in 2019, which from what I remember, it took them. It was quite a big undertaking.
It was a massive undertaking. Yeah.
We've waited more for Avengers movies, right? Than updates to Galaxy's Edge. Like, I just feel it's like it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen eventually. To me, dude, I feel that's the safest bet, the safest left field bet from you. Granted, I have yet to been there, so I'm pretty sure you're on excitement.
I need to take you.
I don't want to go because I'm gonna just be pissed the fuck off from all these goddamn millennial kids going to a place like, do you know what the fuck a Kyber crystal is, bitch? No, you don't. I'm gonna keep the hell out of these kids, man. I don't want to do that. I want kids to be in the things I love.
You'd be surprised at how many. I think it's like, it is.
Like, keep the hell out of so many. That's not enjoyable. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to say, yo, man, like. I remember the time when I was rolling around with lightsabers, going to movie theaters, and I was getting freaking heckled, bro. You don't know the struggle, bro. Like, this is cool now. I was at the forefront when it wasn't, bro. So it's like I don't want to keep. I'm happy that Star Wars has fans now, right? But I'm like, yo, man, y'all are really soft nowadays. Star Wars fans are super soft nowadays by the smallest things. Like, come on, man.
I think you underestimate, and you're not wrong. I think you're still not wrong in that there are young fans that go there, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's for everybody. Star Wars has always been a very inclusive franchise.
Yes.
I know that you have the dickheads that were anti-Rose.
Fuck them.
You had the dickheads that were anti Hayden Christensen and
fuck them
and hated on there were people that hated on Ewan McGregor playing Obi-Wan.
Yeah,
which double fuck them. But they've grown, and the thing is that the people that hated on Hayden and and Ewan McGregor, sadly, JR, were our generation or older.
Yeah. Well, they're the definite, like, because like, dude, it's like, I'm telling you, man, I grew up with Hayden. I grew up with Ian, and the old heads that fucking love Han, that loved Luke, that loved Leia. The trio of them hated the new trio of Nat, Ewan and Hayden. Understandably so, but then their stupidity fucked them over because we didn't get Star Wars from their 20 plus years after that, or like 10 to 15 plus years for that, like legitimate, because these are the same old heads that didn't want to watch the animated series, that hated on Clone Wars saga, that hated on the Clone Wars animated shows, and like And the same guys, the same fucking douchebags that like, oh, why are these new characters? Why is there some better than Boba Fett? Like, what is all this stuff? Like, bitch, you didn't watch shit. You a Star Wars fan in name only, bro. You didn't want to continue to expand on it. You hate this idea that there was once more Jedis than Luke and Ben. I've seen that conversation. It's like, come on, bro. And so so I understand now. Like our generation hates on the current trilogy, not for just some blatant hate, but for the context involved in what happened, the Disneyfying of Star Wars, the stupidity of handing fucking Rian Johnson a series which he intended to fuck over. And it's because it's a 5-year anniversary of that stupid fucking movie. He's like, oh, I'm doubling you down. I'm more proud of it. Fuck you, bro. You fucked over a franchise and you basically shit on the fucking you shit not on the toilet, the side of the toilet, and just left. That's what he did. And he let people to fucking dry, bro. It's like you want to do this like regardless of that. Like I don't want to hate on the fans that love the current trilogy. If you do, you do great. Hopefully you will continue to see this Star Wars journey through. Yeah. But the amount of fucking hate that I saw that I saw an 8-year-old kid get from grown bald-headed ass 40-year-old men who wanted this kid to fucking die because this kid's never gonna become Darth Vader was the most horrendous, grotesque shit I've ever seen in my fucking life.
Like, what do you expect? It's not like poof, all of a sudden Anakin was a grown-ass man and became Darth Vader overnight. It's like, what do you expect? He was a freaking kid. I
just remember the fucking conversations I used to have, bro. Like back in the day, like when I was going to cons, when I go into the cons, like in 2010s or so, going to start certain Star Wars events, you had these old ass dudes like, why was Anakin why was he just a whiny little bitch? I remember saying that to one dude, like, dude, why? Because you're a whiny little bitch when you were a kid too. Like, what do you expect, dog? The kid, Anakin had his fucking his whole family was dead. His mom was fucking killed by sand people, bro. Like, I forgot the name again. But like what do you expect, dog? Just great, thank you. Like a little bit of context. A little bit of context goes a long way. You know who's also a little bitch growing up? Luke.
Yeah. I want to go into town and buy some power converter. I will say I got into an argument.
A little bitch.
I got into an argument was in college over Hayden Christensen's acting and him basically quote being a whiny little bitch. And I sat there and I took it. I listened. I said, and I just looked at them and went, I want to go into town and buy some power converters. And they shut the hell up. That's the way it is. That's the design of the character that George Lucas wanted. We can go down on this tangent because we will do a Star Wars episode here coming up very, very soon, as we will probably be talking about about lightsabers, the animated series, Galaxy's Edge.
Here's my hot take for the night. Here's my hot take. Yeah.
Here's Jared's wild card.
Well, not much. Yeah, my hot take for this though, specifically for it was great that George finally got his hands off of Star Wars and gave it to Filoni.
Yeah.
It was great. Why? Because George showed his age during episode 3. Not episode 3, but he showed his age during episode 6. Let's be honest.
I enjoy Return of the Jedi.
I did. I will
say this until I have always say this as a kid. A New Hope and Return of the Jedi were my two favorite movies.
Return of the Jedi was the weakest one of the bunch.
And yet I still enjoy it.
I enjoy it too.
Still enjoy it. And the one that I actually cannot enjoy is Empire. I get its importance to the saga. I definitely do. I don't hate it. I will never hate anything Star Wars, including Phantom Menace. Last Jedi is close, but I can look past certain things except for the Mary Poppins scene. I will say this: news has come out recently as to what George Lucas had written for episode 7, 8, 9.
Mm-hmm.
And it was not the extended universe that we thought it was going to be.
I know.
Maybe they will still have the twins and have Han and Leia be married. But from what the story has come out now is the treatment that George Lucas wrote and that Bob Iger threw out the window, Kathleen Kennedy threw out the window, was that the trilogy of movies of 7, 8, and 9 was going to be the Leia trilogy. It was going to be all about Leia. There was no, and I think that's where they probably got a little bit of Rey. And I think that maybe they, and like JR, you've talked about this all the time, but it's never been confirmed that Rey and Ben were supposed to be brother and sister, that they were the twins.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly still think that was what was supposed to happen, but Rian Johnson went a different direction in episode 7.
Yeah.
But again, that's for a whole different discussion.
Yeah.
I will say this, JR, I'm curious, since I had the safe pick, since I had the safe wildcard pick, what is the deep cut JR Kambakungan, straight up JR Soapbox wild card pick for D23?
Wild card total or just like Star Wars specific?
I don't know. It could be anything. What is the wild card? Like,
I got
every time there is a keynote presentation at one of these events, there's a wait, we have one more kind of deal.
Okay, so these are more so wild cards, but more so, God, I hope they fucking do it because it'll be my biggest fantasy. Give me Primo. Give me fucking Primo Darth Vader Marvel run. The greatest version of Darth Vader ever was in Marvel Comics. Fight me.
So we're hoping for some kind of Darth Vader like spin-off movie or like
Darth Vader series. I'm talking
Darth
about
Vader series.
I'm Darth Vader series, like with Hayden. With Hayden. Hayden straight up. Maybe we get some Obi-Wan. Maybe we get Dr. Aphra. Maybe we get more continuations. And so like this, like for those who have not seen the Darth Vader run, you want to talk about the badass Terminator killing machine that we know and love?
We saw it in Rogue One.
We
saw a little bit of in Rogue One. We saw a little bit in Obi-Wan.
And like, to be totally honest with you, man, Extended Universe, they butchered the hell out of my boy. they made him they made Darth Vader in Extended Universe. They nerfed the hell out of him. I will say that. When Marvel got in place and when they took over in 2012 and they finally did Darth Vader runs, that's when you saw that pivotal line of Darth Vader, right, being supposedly accosted, but like he was surrounded by rebel troops, right? And when rebel troops go, Darth Vader, surrender now, you are surrounded. And Darth just opens his light, like turns on his lightsaber. He goes, all I'm surrounded by is dead men. All I'm surrounded by is fear and dead men. And he just like, bro, that's it. Like that's what I want. That's Darth Vader, Hayden Christensen being a fucking badass. Throw all the goddamn money at it. It's never gonna happen because he goes pretty freaking ham. My other crazy pick, alternate universe. No, actually, I'll save this pick for sometime down the line because I do want Jaina and Jace to be a thing, and then those, of course, that's the twins from the extended universe cut. But I will say another offbeat pick will be for Marvel. I want Deadpool Wolverine.
Deadpool what?
Deadpool Wolverine. I want Ryan Reynolds somehow dragging the body of a dead Logan onto the screen and somehow give us Deadpool.
It's got, to be honest, I honestly think that they do a Deadpool Logan movie or show. I'm all for recasting Logan in the MCU 616.
Yeah.
I get that. I want to see a rated R. I'm going to piggyback on this, JR, because I've said this for years. I want a straight up 2-hour rated R or a 6 to 10 episode mature MA show.
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool, Hugh Jackman is Wolverine.
Or someone
Throw the rule books out the window, F-bombs galore, let them cut the shit out of people.
Yeah.
Basically, Deadpool meets Logan. I'm right there with you, bro.
Like I just want for one scene, if that ever happens, right? I want Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool to look at the screen after Wolverine or him cuts somebody up, goes, look at the screen. No, look at the screen. I said look at the screen.
Because if he licked the screen, that'd be hilarious.
That too, maybe. But like after, let's say, some massacre scene of both Deadpool and Wolverine cutting them up, I want Deadpool to look at the screen and go, well, that's not going Disney Plus. Just stuff like that, right?
That would be fan-freaking tastic.
Oh,
and speaking of fourth wall breaking, we will get into JR's opinion of episodes 2 and 3 of She-Hulk here in just a moment.
I didn't watch 3.
You haven't watched 3?
Also, sorry to cut you off one more time. Talking of Logan, director of Logan was James Mangold.
Yep, James Mangold.
Right? James Mangold. He's directing Indy 5.
Yes, which I'm super excited about. And I thought that's where you were going to go with your guaranteed Lucasfilm pick. I honestly think we are going to get a trailer and we will get the title treatment for Indiana Jones 5. And I'm really excited because it is James Mangold doing it, and he is
great.
He's good. Are we going to do you think we're going to get Raiders of the Lost Ark, or are we going to get Temple of Doom? Like
I want Logan. I want Logan.
Well, I'm just saying Logan is very much Temple of Doom.
I want Ark, actually, because I feel like
Raiders of the Lost Ark is probably one of the greatest films of all time.
I want Ark because I feel like Indy always does better with as a team, as a duo with somebody.
Yeah.
I feel like, and specifically with someone old. Well, he's gonna be the older one now. We don't. Well, like here's the thing. I don't know if we're gonna have Harrison Ford again. I don't want Harrison Ford. He's pushing 70. He's pushing 70.
Harrison Ford's in
it. Which sucks. I don't know what he's going to do. Maybe maybe he will play like some of the back role, because I don't want again, man. I don't like my 7-year-old actors and legendary actors to do these crazy stunts and maneuvers. And you had him go through a nuclear bomb.
Play into that. I think they're going to play into that. So you're not going to see like Samuel L. Jackson was in Captain Marvel, where they did an amazing job de-aging him, and then you see him try to punch somebody and run, and he looks like an 80-year-old man. I think they're going to acknowledge the fact that Dr. Henry Jones Jr. is an 80-year-old man, and that's it. And I think they will have a sidekick. It's not going to be Shia LaBeouf. Are they going to retcon his son away? We don't know. That's yet to be seen. So we'll see. Let us know in the comments below what you think is your guaranteed pick for Lucasfilm and Marvel Studios, Disney Animation, Walt Disney Studios, and Pixar. What's your wild card pick? It could be anything Disney related. It could be Disney Vacations. It could be the Disney Parks. It could be any of the properties that Disney has, any of the IPs that Disney has. It could be 20th Century Fox. People forget about that. It could be 20th Century Fox. Do we get information about Avatar 2? Do we get information about Avatar 3? Do we get information about a Free Guy movie? Do we get an update about Deadpool 3? We don't know. And like I said, Hall D23 is less than 7 days away now.
Yep.
Staying with D23, this came out earlier this weekend, and that is a list of actors and actresses that are potentially going to be announced at Hall D23. This is coming from a reliable informant of Marvel information, that not just at the Hall D23, this is going to be a part of the Marvel presentation. These are 7 actors and actresses that are guaranteed to be at the Marvel Studios. This, according to a reliable source. This is not from Marvel Studios, but that you can bet your life on this. These 7 actors and actresses are going to be announced by Marvel Studios to appear in as early as Phase 5.
New.
These all new characters. Well, One technically has already appeared in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Okay.
Okay. The list includes John Boyega, Jodie Comer. You're probably wondering who's Jodie Comer. She was the female lead in Free Guy.
Okay. Yeah.
Daisy Edgar Jones. Not familiar with this young lady, but
It's a pick. It's a pick.
good
Marvel
pick.
does that.
I'm thinking possibly Sue Storm, maybe, but at the same time, Jodie Comer might play a better Sue Storm. John Krasinski going to be announced, so I think we are going to see Reed Richards being played by John Krasinski as a permanent fixture.
Okay.
Also, we talked about this last week on the last episode. Giancarlo Esposito, possibly could be announced as either Magneto or Charles Xavier.
Okay.
And then you talk about John Boyega being a wild card. Wait till I give you the next two names. Starting with multiple Academy Award winner, going with Marvel's MO.
Okay.
Denzel Washington.
Okay.
Denzel Washington. Could he play Magneto?
No.
Could Denzel play the voice of Galactus?
No. I love Denzel, but
Galactus has always had that deep, brooding voice in animation form.
He has, but at the same time, there's too much Denzel to not. There's gonna be too much I love Denzel Washington. He's one of my favorite actors of all fucking time. But
does he play a hero or a villain?
I need to hear it. I want to hear him as a villain. I really do, but I just don't know. That's the thing. Like Denzel in Equalizer 2. If you heard Denzel in Equalizer 2, you basically will hear Denzel for the rest of your life.
What if he's Miles Morales' dad?
I wouldn't mind that. I would not mind that.
Okay. Here is the biggest freaking wild card. We have seen characters jump ship from other properties to the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Are you?
Michael B. Jordan left Fox before the merger to join the MCU and played Killmonger after leaving playing Johnny Storm in the failed Fantastic Four movie.
Are you gonna pull out?
Have we ever seen a DC character leave DC Films
from the big three?
Join the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
From the big three?
Of the big three.
You talking about Henry?
Henry Cavill is rumored to be appearing at Hall D23 next Saturday. Fucking Superman is going to join the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
That's a bit like granted.
It's one thing to get a Ben Affleck Batman.
Yeah.
Potentially get Gal Gadot, who is Wonder Woman. That would even be a stretch. But you're talking about the symbol of hope. The original, the OG. We talked about Namor the Submariner was the original Marvel superhero.
Okay.
We're talking about DC Comics original legit superhero. The original superhero.
If Henry Cavill is gonna be in MCU, I don't see him playing anyone other than Mr. Fantastic.
Or a variant of everyone of Cap. Could he play a variant of Cap?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Because he's rumored to be reprising his role as Superman. So do they get Henry Cavill in a one-off for Cap 4? And he plays a variant. Or does he play a villain?
No,
because
I think
he can play a dick.
He could play a dick. And the dick that I'm thinking of isn't
he
really
played Mission Impossible and he was a dick.
Yeah. He was an ass. I loved him.
He was an asshole.
He was an asshole. But here's the thing. Right? He could play a dick, and the dick that comes to mind for me is actually Scott Summers.
Scott Summers.
Cyclops. Wolverine. Oh, Cyclops. X-Men.
Oh, good pull.
Like, and I'm not talking about like the 90s Cyclops. I'm talking about the militaristic, the just as bad as Captain Marvel was in Civil War. Cyclops was worse.
Ooh.
Cyclops was the iteration was what Magneto wanted. If Magneto had Cyclops, right, when he had that whole thing, we're like, no, just fucking yeah, we're X-Men is mutants are homo superior. Yeah, 100%. So fuck everyone else.
That is a good pull, sir. I didn't even think about that. So I'm thinking John. Now I was thinking about this too.
Okay.
Henry Cavill is truly the king nerd.
Yeah. 100%.
Dude plays World of Warcraft. He built his own computers. He's the Witcher. He played Superman. He's on the verge of possibly joining the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The only thing he hasn't done is Harry Potter and fucking Star Wars.
No, he's not gonna do that. Well, Star Wars, he might. The man, he plays Warhammer 400K. That's all you fucking need to know. If you don't know what that is, that's how nerdy he is.
You don't know.
You don't know. He's super fucking nerdy. I love it.
Him as a villain. Playing the villain. Your boy.
Talk about Doom?
Dr. Victor Von Doom. I'm looking at this picture. He's suave. He's handsome. He's smart. He is charismatic. And he can play a dick.
Here's the thing about Doom, though. The Doom that you're saying is probably the more recent Doom, where he got his face fixed by Reed. For the longest time, Doctor Doom has always had when he wore that mask is because he had this horrendous facial scar. Look up if you can Google right now, God Emperor Doom, face without the mask.
Does he play Ben?
A variant?
Does he play Ben? Ben Grimm?
I don't think so. Like
I'm trying to think. The obvious choice is he plays a Cap variant because he's Superman.
Yeah. The thing about specifically with Henry Cavill is that even though
we're forgetting the obvious.
What's the obvious?
We're forgetting the absolute fucking obvious.
What's the obvious?
And it's been rumored for many years.
Are you talking about Wolverine?
Hyperion.
I mean, yeah, I thought about that too, but at the same time, it's like that's too on the nose. Like you want to have Marvel Superman versus no. I was thinking of also the Sentry, right? Because the Sentry is actually technically stronger than Superman. He's technically stronger than Superman, which is fucking nuts.
Oh God! Let us know in the comments below what you think Henry Cavill is going to play in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Dude,
I'm still thinking about Denzel and John Boyega too.
Dude, if we get if Marvel gets Henry Cavill, I see him playing I see him playing Mutant.
Scott Summers is a good pick.
Scott Summers, I actually legit see him. He might be a really good Magneto as well.
Oh, you know who I'm looking at too? Okay, so I'm looking at this actress who's playing Daisy Edgar Jones. This picture I have, she could play Jean. She is in this picture. She is a redhead. She's not a super redhead. And I'm looking at Jodie Comer. She looks like she could play Sue Storm because she looks. Daisy Edgar Jones looks a lot like Emily Blunt though.
Yeah,
there might be two on the nose.
I feel like there might be some overlap, but like if Marvel wants to keep some Fox stars and actors and actresses from the past,
which they have till the end of next year.
Yeah, because I know that that Ryan Coogler, the second that that he heard that Marvel was Disney was buying Fox, like, hey, I want first crack at Storm, which I thought they were gonna go with the Storm that was picked because she was actually really decent, right, for that for the role she was given, and so I'm hoping there's some leeway. Like I would love to see some of the old Game of Thrones Games of Thrones cast be on a Marvel movie together again. Like I forgot her name, but the one who plays Sansa Stark and the sister, because the girl who plays Sansa Stark was Jean Grey in X-Men not First Class, but the second movie and third movie, and as well as Maisie Williams played in New Mutants.
Which I still have never seen.
I'll watch it eventually. I know it's bad, but then, what could have been? What could have been if they made a really good, horror movie mutants. So
Yeah.
there's that. As well as like, I really do hope they bring Homeboy. That that little fucking tease when they brought Quicksilver.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I was so pissed. I
I
was so
can't think.
pissed. But yeah,
I know God bless the internet. They are absolutely just roasting this
What?
pick, and the one they're jumping on is Jodie Comer, and they're saying like it's not going to happen because she's come out and said that she's never going to join Marvel, but everyone said that it's a foregone conclusion she's going to play Sue Storm.
Jodie Comer from Free Guy, right?
Yeah.
I have yet to see Free Guy, which I really should be on, but
people are saying like, oh well, Henry Cavill can't jump ship because he still has unfinished business in the DC universe, but they're using
stupid.
Idris Elba, but Idris Elba, of course, appeared. Spoiler alert! Wait, have you seen Thor: Love and Thunder?
No.
Okay, never mind.
But just say it. I don't care.
He makes a cameo at the end of the movie.
Cool.
That's
such a weird, idiotic like thinking like, oh, well, that's again the fandom bullshit between DC and Marvel. It's so dumb. Like, oh, Henry can never join Marvel because his loyalty to, like, no, motherfucker, he gonna go to whoever pays him. Like he was the witch. He's more the Witcher than he is Superman right now, bro. Like he hasn't donned the cape for over I don't know how long, bro. They did some reshoots, sure, but like he hasn't really been fully Superman for a long time. Like he's more Geralt than he is. I see more as Geralt than I do as Superman. He's a better Geralt, honestly, than Superman. So I don't want. I'm tired of this bullshit.
People are. I'm going on those Twitter posts. People are just absolutely shitting on John Boyega.
Stupid.
I'm looking at it going.
Who's he gonna try to play though?
I don't know. The obvious pick, because sadly there's not a lot of characters of color in the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
And if you want to go right on the nose, just based on his build, he is a big guy.
Yeah.
He's not tall.
Yeah.
But he is a man of color. He can do a very traditional English accent, which you can do anything. You can put your spin on a character and just make him English. He actually, obviously, also as Finn did an American accent. He might still be too short to do it. My obvious pick would be Bishop, but they already had Bishop, and I think the guy who played Bishop in Days of Future Past was good.
It was decent. Yeah.
Boyega and Denzel are the two that I just have no idea. Cavill, there's so many things you can do. Comer, I think the obvious pick is Sue Storm. Krasinski is obviously Reed Richards. Daisy Edgar Jones, I apologize, I don't know enough about her to have to formulate an opinion. Giancarlo Esposito can play anything he fucking wants.
Yeah.
If he wants to play Stan Lee, if he just wants to be Stan Lee, just let him play the Black Stan Lee. Really and truly, if they're going to introduce Miles Morales, Denzel, who's played a cop multiple times over, could easily play Miles's dad, who is a cop in the continuity.
Okay. So let me just back up real quick then. And I hate pigeonholing these actors. I fucking hate it.
I agree.
But I hate it. But if we're going down this route of like if Denzel Washington plays his dad, does John Boyega play his uncle?
That's the thing, is the uncle already exists in continuity.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's and the uncle is of course fucking the awesome I know it was Childish Gambino, but I forgot his actual name. And it's the who's the actor's name from Lethal Weapon?
Donald Glover, Danny Glover, Donald Glover.
Yeah,
Donald Glover played the Prowler in Homecoming.
In Homecoming. So like I understand that he technically exists already, but like again, variants, right? And so it's just so weird. Like I wonder then, is John Boyega gonna play Miles? because you look at age, you look at a very old, and I love him to death, but Denzel was pushing 70, right? He's pushing. He's like in his mid to late 60s, and if he's playing his dad, the only possible plausible answer for to have an older Miles.
The rumor going around about Denzel Washington is any character from Magneto to Blue Marvel.
Blue Marvel. Wow.
Looking at some of the lists, the talk about it is that here we go. Adam Brashear, aka Blue Marvel, who was a black character in the comic books. He also could play. You want to talk about spot on the nose?
What?
Mephisto. Oh my god!
Actually,
him as the devil. Oh my god! Oh my god! To be honest, I honestly don't want anybody to play Mephisto other than I can only. No, I can only see Al Pacino because I love the Devil's Advocate.
Yeah.
And just that, I mean, Al Pacino was.
He played the devil twice, didn't he? He's played the devil twice in movies.
The devil. I mean, let's just face it. But Denzel Washington is Mephisto. Ooh. Oh. Fuck. Didn't even think about this because think about who we're dealing with.
Denzel? It's Denzel, one of the greatest actors.
We're missing the most obvious black actor that just got announced for the MCU.
Are we talking about Blade?
Blade. He could play Dracula.
That's too on the nose, though. Are we trying to go that hokey though?
Well, I'm looking at this list, and there's a bunch. He could also play. They're saying that he could also be a top secret role from the Black Panther movie, and that he was the original Black Panther, the one who founded Wakanda, the one that found the heart-shaped herb.
Okay,
which is Bashinga, I think is the name. But guys, let us know in the comments below. I mean, the two on the nose would of course be him being part of the Blade trilogy, and that could be the same thing for John Boyega.
Yeah,
is who could John Boyega play in the MCU? I will say this: I did Google Denzel Washington MCU, and one of the first things that popped up, other than him playing Magneto, was Ben Grimm, which I'm like, I don't know about that.
That was my conversation about, like, you know, what does Marvel do with, like, you don't want to cover up Henry Cavill. The man is a gorgeous looking man, right? And so that's the thing. I'm like, do you really want to cover up Henry Cavill in Doom armor? You know, because it's like it was the same conversation that I forgot his name, who plays Jin Jardin, with, like, he's having problems now with, like, wearing the Mandalorian armor for a couple seasons now, and he wants to be more unfolded, but, like, that's obviously against the rights of being Mandalorian. But, like, I go with this concept, like, do you really want to cover up these actors where obviously you want to see their face at least, right? And so we kind of got away with it with Bradley Cooper being Rocket, right? Mainly because you don't need to pay him for an actual visual acting role. So that's a check mark off your book. Because if Bradley Cooper was definitely, like, visually in the movie, he was quite literally should be the top billing. As much love as I have for Chris, it's Bradley Cooper. But so it's like I don't want to cover up Henry Cavill. I don't want to cover up Denzel Washington. What? Hello? I don't want to cover John Krasinski. So I don't want to cover any of these actors and actresses where, like, obviously they want some type of recognition, unless they want to, unless they really legitimately want to. And so that's the thing. Henry Cavill. If we get Henry Cavill, there's so many doors. I want to say too, just Denzel Washington is such a great fucking actor. He can play literally anybody. I don't mind him being Xavier. Like, I don't mind him being Professor X. I legitimately don't mind him being Professor X. Like, if he can just be the old dude that just rolls around in a hovering chair, right, passing off knowledge in his I don't know if it's a New York accent or whatever accent he has, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with him being Professor X.
Screen Rant, according to Screen Rant, top 10 characters that Henry Cavill could play. Number 10, Jack of Hearts. Not familiar with the character. I apologize. Number 9, Colossus. Number 8, Scott Summers, a Cyclops. Number 7, Nova. That would be Richard Rider, which is a possibility because they are doing a Nova show.
That's right.
Which also could possibly get announced next Saturday. Another one that, again, Denzel plays Mephisto. We could have Henry Cavill play Mr. Sinister, which would be a good role. He could also play Captain Britain. People forget Henry Cavill is not American. He is English. Yep. He also could play, well, we said Denzel could play Galactus. What about Henry Cavill play Galactus?
It's going to be interesting.
A role we know he's not going to play is Hercules. Spoiler alert. We already know who's playing Hercules in the MCU.
Good for him, too.
He could play, as JR put it, he could play Sentry. And the number 1 role is he could be Victor Von Doom. This is according to ScreenRant.com. And I just pulled this up. I did no research. Let us know in the comments below the actors that you think will be cast. I think we will definitely see. I would love to see Giancarlo Esposito and Denzel Washington play off each other. Giancarlo playing Professor X and Denzel playing Magneto.
Okay, just go in with this. What if Henry plays Red Hulk? The son, like what? What if? I know it's supposed to be I know it's supposed to be Ross. I forget his name. Like Commander Ross.
General Thunderbolt Ross.
Thunderbolt Ross, right? They still need a Hulk. Somehow, like we have 2 Hulks, 1.5 Hulks now in the MCU. We need someone on an opposing force to basically kind of try to just at least fight off against that.
Okay. With that said, let us know in the comments below. Fantasy cast those 7 characters that we gave you. But this, I'm gonna grab that right there because this is what they call a segue, my friend. Let's talk about She-Hulk, because a part of you said you watched episode 3, correct?
No, I did not. I can. Episode 2.
Okay. Spoiler alert: we see our first, and it's a one-off scene. We see our first attempt at trying to draw blood from Jennifer Walters, and the person who does this says the boss is not going to be happy because they were unable to draw blood. So it's obvious that somebody out there is looking for the She-Hulk's blood. Could it be Val? Could it be Valentina Allegra De Fontaine, aka Val, the leader of the Thunderbolts, which is unofficial? Could they be looking for their Red Hulk? And of course, in comic book, General Thunderbolt Ross is the leader of the Thunderbolts. Go figure. And he does what he injects himself with the super soldier serum, uses the gamma radiation, becomes Red Hulk. Blah, blah, blah. The actor who plays Thunderbolt Ross unfortunately has since passed on. So Thunderbolt. So who plays the Red Hulk? I like it. Henry Cavill possibly playing Red Hulk. Do we see a Red Hulk at the end of this series?
I don't know. I mean, anything be better than what the fuck we have now.
Yeah,
I didn't watch episode 3, but already the internet is going abuzz with it. Like it's a lot more. I can't say a lot more hate, but like just like the seriousness has gone through out the window the second you started fucking twerking with Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah, and it was not my. And this could be get off my lawn. About this episode, I've watched it twice now. It's the only episode that I've watched multiple times. Because my wife fell asleep when we watched it the other night. Let that be a kind of a. Well, I think about it. It was like 10 o'clock at night, so
maybe she was just tired.
She was tired, but we watched it, and she seemed to have liked it. I liked it better the second viewing, but I still didn't like it. It's my least favorite episode of the 3 episodes so far.
I mean,
but I'm right there with you. My least favorite part of the episode is dealing with Megan Thee Stallion. For those who don't know who she is, she's a hip hop artist to the in the same window of like God, what's her name? The woman who was a
Nicki Minaj,
and
Lil Kim. Lil Kim is an OG
Lil Kim has more
pullback.
talent than she did.
Yeah, true. But the other one too. Oh yeah, Nicki Minaj. Yeah.
She's
no,
very
no.
similar to
Cardi B. I think
Cardi B is who also thinking.
Cardi B. Yeah, Cardi B is the one. So yeah, but man, where to go? I feel like my type of cringe with this series is much different from my cringe with Miss Marvel. Miss Marvel, I understood my cringe. It's the whole thing of like, oh my gosh, I don't want to be put back in this place where I was in secondhand embarrassment. Basically, that was it. I'm more than happy for the young folks who are getting into the show who are basically seeing a somewhat realized form of like, of being a second generation American immigrant and from an immigrant family with superpowers, or trying to understand this type of life, right? And associating with that because family is a huge thing and all that stuff, right? Cool. More happy for them. I lived it. I don't want to relive it. It's super cringe for me, and that's okay. This movie or this series so far feels like appropriation in the sense of like just unnecessarily trying to say I'm so much better than the person who came before me. I'm so much better. You should just call me a Hulk. I don't want to be Hulk. I'm better than this person, and I don't care that you don't. I don't care that you care so much. That's what it feels like. It feels like a hoorah type of shit. There feels like there's no actual fucking storyline. I understand that still they had to deal with COVID. They had to deal with these weird editing issues. I understand that there's this timeline, but like just the sheer negligence of the source material, the sheer negligence of like the lack of self-awareness, from this woman, right? From the character. I'm a woman. I'm always angry. I always keep my anger in check. To the person who quite literally has killed thousands of people, who's telling you, hey, if you don't keep your anger in check, because I know we're all human, you might kill thousands of people. And they treat it off as a joke, man. It's like, because the way that I looked at it, man, like he's treating the Hulk form like it's AIDS. Quite literally. No, like or HIV. Hey, this is something I live with now. Here's my way of showing you how I live with it all my life. You have to be careful around people. You have to be careful with your blood. He's taking it seriously. I took it seriously. And so it's like you have this person, it just feels very, and this is me pulling the race card. It's me pulling the race card.
Doesn't happen very often, folks.
It feels very white of them. It feels very fucking privileged colonizer of them, dude. It's just like, do you not understand your privilege here? This dude almost killed the love of his life multiple times. The only person in the MCU who has tried to commit suicide. The OG Avengers, he said this when you first meet him, or when he said like, yeah, I try to kill myself, and the other guy stopped it. The OG. And they're just flipping like, I don't give a fuck. And granted, too, the stuff's come out with the directors and writers saying, oh, we don't really care. We're just gonna go around. We're trying to have fun with it. By blatantly putting down other people. It's so weird too, man. You can't call it sexist, but if you call it sexist, if I say this thing is sexist, automatically people will say, oh, you're misogynistic now. Why? Because you call it the bullshit was happening? Like it's so fucking like absurdly blatant and unaware. Like the first 15 minutes, or 10 to 15 minutes of the second episode, man, I'm like the complete lack of self-awareness you have. and we talked. I remember talking to people over the phone, like the scene where like she is given a tour of everything, right? And then turns into She-Hulk, right? And she's past the whole that room of like, oh my gosh, look at all these white people, all these old white dudes, in their privileged positions, like they were given everything. Like, bitch, you were just literally given a job because you were given powers that you now control. How do you not see that how do you not see any, like, how do you lack self-awareness? Right now, you're given a job because you were given a job at a high power position by the sheer fact of what you look like. Like, the lack of self-awareness in that one scene baffled the hell out of me. The only reason why you're given that job is because you look like somebody else. You were given powers of somebody else. You were in the same position as those old white dudes in that meeting room. Like, how do you not see that? And I understand it's supposed to be a comedy show, man. But I'm like, yo, it's so blatantly like the lack of self-awareness baffles the fuck out of me, dude. It's like, when does this show become semi-serious or has some semblance of real? Like, I thought it was gonna go semi-serious the first like 3 minutes, right? Where she's like, oh, we're like, oh, you're fired. Of episode 2. Oh, sorry, you're fired. And she's like, you see that scene of like her going to jobs and just consistently the background just goes lesser and lesser. That was a great scene. I'm like, okay, cool. She's understanding what the cost of these powers, the cost of this thing is going to have.
Yeah.
And then it flips in about literally 5 minutes by going to a bar and some dude following her this whole time. Like, oh yeah, here's a job. I'll pay you so much money. Just come to my job. Like, yeah, sure, fine. It's like, okay.
And it could fall into the same trap, and that's why because of the way episode 3 ended. I'm wondering if it's just falling into the same trap because I think it's
9 episodes, isn't it? It's 9 episodes.
I think it might be 9 episodes, but it's 30 minutes.
Yeah,
because I'm wondering if it's falling into the same trap that middle act really suffers, and it's been the trope for all of the Marvel shows, with the exception of WandaVision, is that it just kind of like very sluggish in the middle and then picks up at the end. So, I mean, I think it was more evident than anything. Pretty much everything. Actually, take it back. Pretty much everything. WandaVision kind of it started off awkward because it was trying to lay the groundwork for why the sitcom trope, why the sitcom theme and stuff like that. So
and everything made sense. Like, I give the first 3 to 4 Disney Marvel shows a lot of credit because they planned this before COVID, right?
Absolutely.
Planned it before COVID, understand one key goal, and they went for it. She-Hulk, was it She-Hulk? Fucking What If? Well, they could do it. They could have done that with What If. But She-Hulk, What If, Miss Marvel. What's another show I'm missing? That came out.
She-Hulk, Miss Marvel, Hawkeye.
Right? Like those shows, right? They had to somewhat deal with, and even to a lesser extent, to Obi-Wan Kenobi, right? Kenobi, all that stuff. They had to deal with the extensive protocols of COVID effects, right? I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt because, like, I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt by saying that, maybe the writer and directors of She-Hulk just wanted to have fun, right? Want to have fun and just be stupid, mindless, right? But at the same time, that stupid, mindless fun just basically saying that you're better than a character who has a laundry list of trauma throughout his entire life. You want to prop up somebody else on the top of their trauma, call out their trauma, saying that you're better than his trauma, and then just continue forward with that. But at the same time, you want him to emote with your trauma because you are a woman.
Yeah.
That is the most blatantly sexist thing I've ever fucking heard.
Yeah.
And so I don't know.
It's definitely not my favorite series so far.
I'm really hoping it picks up. I'm hoping that somehow.
I hope so too, and maybe it'll stick the landing. And I think it's going to set up for a lot of different things coming down the road.
I'm hoping Matt comes in and gives it some heart.
And again, that's what we haven't seen yet. I do love the fourth wall breaking. I think I think it's one of the best parts about the show is that she really is meta to the level of Deadpool. I mean, it's not just subtle fourth wall breaking. It is just in your face.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I mean, like, sorry, because my phone Blake.
That's all right.
I understand that, they're trying to be astonishing She-Hulk of the 90s.
Yeah.
And that was a great series. That was a fun series. But I felt like they went straight into astonishing without actually like prepping, doing proper legwork. Like I felt like because the editing was horrible, the cuts were horrible, that they just had to go straight into it. Like it felt very much like, oh shit, COVID really fucked their development cycle up. And so I'm trying to give it the benefit of the doubt, man. But like everything is just like first impressions are everything. And the first impression you gave is that you shit on your cousin for trying to save your life, or you shit on your cousin because you saved his life, even though it's just so, I don't know. Man, like I had a lot of good karma, or try to put good karma into the show and give benefit of the doubt, man. But it's just one of those things, man, where like I don't want to feed into like the whole bullshit narrative of DC fans saying that, oh, Marvel or these fucking conservative fans, super ultra conservative fans, by saying that, thinking that this is a super feminist show or something, right? I don't want to feed in that narrative, but at the same time, it's like it's looking pretty fucking blatant, man. It's looking very blatant, man. It's like you could at least try to hide this shit a little more easier, man. Not be on the nose with it. It's like you like really is every corporation just evil scumbag people, right? Are you gonna say that about are you gonna say that about Tony's industry?
They kind of have. They've now that Tony Stark is dead, they're kind of like
oh yeah, Tony's
a little bit more.
It's like it's the weird cancel culture thing too. That's plaguing that series too. Is like, oh yeah, well Tony, even though he saved the lives of quite literally half the universe, he was an asshole at the end who bombed people. Bitch, what the fuck? He literally brought you back to life, and you will say, oh, okay. Well, we have just be like, it's just so weird, dude. Yeah.
Well, we'll see. We'll see if they can stick the landing. I think for obvious room. Man, did I just fucking break my microphone?
No, I can hear you still.
No, I know. I hit it hard and it came loose. I think my daughter.
New mic stand, bro. You get a new mic stand.
No,
bro.
It's twisted.
Oh, okay.
Hold on for a second.
There you go. Okay, I'll just keep on talking. But anyways, like I'm hoping that I'm gonna just continue to hopefully trudge through it, man. Hopefully it makes some sense. Hopefully Charlie Cox or Matt Murdock can come in and just provide some, like, at least some heart to it. And that's not to say that that's not to fire up feminists who say, just because a man can bring some emotion to it. If y'all haven't noticed, Charlie Cox or Matt Murdock is quite literally one of the best people in MCU or in Marvel in general, because he's quite literally like one of the sole backbones of how to be an upstanding human being towards everyone. His literal day job is to be a lawyer to the downtrodden.
Come on, it'll be kind of curious, because I'd be kind of curious how they're going to introduce Matt Murdock into the universe, and I think it's a bit on the nose that him being a lawyer is how they're going to introduce. I don't know.
Here's my bigger question too. How do you think he's going to be treated? I hope
it's tough because Tatiana Maslany's version of Jennifer Walters has been, there is really no leeway with her and the law, and
I mean, like,
to the point where she found every little possible nuance to defend Emil Blonsky, because she knew that everything about Emil Blonsky was that he's guilty as hell. He was a supervillain. He tried to kill her cousin. And when she found out that he broke out of jail with Wong during the events of Shang-Chi, she had to find ways to defend him like a good lawyer. But she's so by the book, is like, how is she going to consider a person to the extent of how's she going to call Matt Murdock a colleague when he's a mass vigilante?
Yeah, or not just that, but like just also like when are they gonna legitimately provide heart into the show? Like that, right? I'm not to say that because a lot of it just feels like just quippy humor, like dramaless type of stuff, right? Where it's very female empowerment, She-Hulk stuff. Like it's like man, it's so privileged. I can't keep on thinking that. I just can't have that, man. Like it's so privileged. Like you don't want to be equal to men. You want to have the same power as like the higher 1% elites to have power over other people. That's what it's just what it feels like. You don't be equal to men. You want to have the same power as the other older white dudes to have more power over these men. That's it. That's what it feels like to me, bro. It's like it's super fucking privileged to me. Super fucking privileged. And just feels so it's like disingenuous to me, man. That's it. It's I want to continue. I want to give it the show benefit of the doubt because like I enjoyed She-Hulk the character.
Yeah.
And one of her better portrayals in like Civil War 2 or in Civil War 2 anime, the comic book, as well as like after finding out that she got fucked up by Doom. No, not by Doom, by Thanos in Civil War 2. And her subsequent like persona break where she actually has a Hulk and Anger Hulk and what happened afterwards. I love that run. That was a great run because like She-Hulk, every time she became angry, she became the Hulk because her cousin literally died. And so Marvel had to fill this realm of like, we need a Hulk in our team.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. She became very much a massive character. And like JR said before, she went full Hulk after the events of Civil War 2. So
yeah, like she got beaten nearly like an inch of her life by Thanos, who was probably again when she came back from consciousness or from being unconscious, found out that her cousin died. They killed her cousin, and that found out that her best friend, which was which is still Captain Marvel at the time, right? Was launching a war against fucking Tony Stark and trying to have this thing. It was like
did she date Rhodey in the comics?
Well, you talking about She-Hulk?
James Rhodes, War Machine.
No, but you're talking about She-Hulk or are you talking about Captain Marvel?
She-Hulk.
I don't think so. She-Hulk dated fucking Juggernaut. She dated Juggernaut. She dated so. Here's the thing about She-Hulk that I love too. That she's very much traditional feminist in the sense of like free love, free spirit, all that stuff. She slept around, right? She slept around with everybody. I think she slept around with Tony too, actually, right? And so she slept with everybody, and she was proud of it. She didn't care. She had a high metabolism. I think at one point she's like, I don't know how Bruce holds back, right? I don't know how Bruce holds back because I can't, because she couldn't. So like so that it's. But yeah, the post Civil War 2, right? She had a full run to herself. Granted, the run didn't do so great because, like, again, old dudes didn't want new Hulk again. But yeah, it spawned out. She was in Avengers. It spawned off another She-Hulk. I think it spawned off a Russian She-Hulk, which is weird. So yeah, so it's like. There's so much to this character, and they just went with the whole shit. They just went with like, oh no, we just need a strong woman character again. It's like, dude, like there's so much more She-Hulk history than Captain Marvel at this point. It really is. I'm not talking about Miss Marvel when Karen Danvers was Miss Marvel. I'm talking about when Karen Danvers was Captain Marvel. Like, there's way more history on She-Hulk than there is Captain Marvel right now, and they went that route. So I'm like, and not only that, but like you just destroyed, basically trying to one up a relationship where in the comics, She-Hulk really benefited from having Bruce as a cousin who became the Hulk. Talking about like, you know, having to deal with anger bouts, having to deal with this, with the world seeing you a different way. The anger bouts she dealt with, but like having people look at you and say, like, we legitimately be scared of you because you could possibly destroy their town. That's how people viewed the Hulk. Like,
yeah,
he was the number one threat of all time. He was a literal walking nuke every time he walked into town. That's how they viewed She-Hulk, because they didn't see this amazing, beautiful green woman. They saw a walking fucking nuke walk into town. And like, I just, that thing just really just kind of just threw me off when like the first thing they did for her in episode 2 was give her a round of applause and give her drinks. Like, this is a Hulk, dude. This is a Hulk that can destroy your entire fucking bloodline. Like, again,
it'll be kind of curious to see the direction it goes. We still haven't seen a fully fleshed out villain in this show.
Yeah.
So it'll be kind of curious as what happens in the next few episodes. Like you said, like Jared mentioned earlier, it is, I believe, 9 episodes at about, and they're staying about 20 to 30 minutes long. And it's kind of cool is they're at the end of every episode, they do a little stinger. They do a little post-credit scene. So they haven't let us down on that. And it's been mostly fluff so far. So
which is
let us know in the comments below what your opinion of She-Hulk has been. Now, JR, we did this show sans script. And it's been actually a really entertaining show. However, we run a little late.
Yeah.
And I want to get into the video game talk that we've been promising for the last 2 weeks. So I'm thinking we got ourselves what we call a 3-day weekend this weekend.
Okay.
I'm thinking we find a way to sneak in a little bonus episode this weekend if you've got some time.
Yeah.
So I want to get into some talks because we have a lot of stuff to talk about from video games. We've been hinting at it since earlier this summer with some of the big announcements. A lot of stuff has happened in the last 7 days.
Yeah.
Sony bought out a company. Nintendo's gearing up for a massive fall and winter.
Yep. We had Tencent and PlayStation bought stocks into a major game company called From Software. Freaking Sony is getting sued for like 5 to 8 billion euros. Right, which I'm actually cool with, right? People are gonna say that I'm a huge fucking Sony fanatic or whatever, right? Like,
which he is.
I am, but at the same time, am. But at the same time, it's like I too don't want to get, I too don't want to pay $60 for a video game on PlayStation, PSN Live or PlayStation Store that came out like 10 years ago. I don't want to pay that shit either. So it's like stuff like that. I'm happy for it because it keeps Sony not grounded, but like it keeps them like, yo, stop being a fucking asshole, right? But also as well, like one of my favorite games of all time, Last of Us Part 1, got remastered or got redone for the PS5. They came out this week. There's a bunch of the new announcements that came out. Dead Island 2 got announced. Gamescom happened in the prior week. A bunch of stuff was announced. And PlayStation everywhere but the US, PS5s are going up. That's the most stupid move I've ever fucking seen, right? And to react to that, both Microsoft and Nintendo said, "Nah, we're not doing that, son. We're not raising prices on our consoles, so we're not doing that." So
obviously, too, the other news is that consoles are becoming a little bit more available. PlayStation 5 is still super rare, but they're slowly but surely starting. I think that there's probably going to be, much like in past, this is going to be the big selling year for PlayStation units. Xbox Series S. You can find almost anywhere. That's the one that's no hard. It's all digital, basically. What's the one that's all digital?
I think all the Xbox Series come with a disc. I don't
Okay.
recall. Actually,
I thought there was one that was all digital.
There's a
I could
Sony.
be wrong. It was
Yeah,
Costco always has the
Series
Xboxes.
S. Yeah. There's a Sony version that's discless. There's a Sony version that costs $100 less.
That's what it is.
Yeah, I don't know specifically for the Xbox Series X because I don't have one, and I never really want to buy one. Maybe, but like,
part of me does too.
Yeah, it's just more so right now, dude. Like, because of how great the Xbox was it that the service they have, the games, the video game service they have?
Which is really funny. Just reminded me, I actually have the Xbox or the Microsoft whatever gaming
Game Pass. Yeah,
Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah.
I actually paid for it. I've never used it,
bro. Like it's such a great value, right?
Yeah,
and that's one of the greatest things. Great, $15, great fucking value. I still want to buy a PC. I still want to make my own PC, right? And just have Xbox Game Pass on my PC. I want to play all these great games coming out on Xbox, right? Like Starfield, which coming out, I think, end of this year or is it next year? I forgot exactly when. And as well as possibly the new Oblivion games or Elder Scrolls. Like, I want to play all those games. If it's for $15 on Game Pass, just fucking buy it on a bigger hardware. So like, just buy a PC, man.
For those of you who are streaming on our Twitch channel, PS Comics, I Love You on Twitch. Be on the lookout. There's a good possibility I will be hitting up our Twitch stream on Monday because I have Jedi Fallen Order coming.
Hey, let's
I'm gonna finally play it. My son and I are gonna finally play it. We're super excited about that. I'm gonna work on the office in here that I broadcast from. So be on the lookout for that. For those who don't know, I'll scroll here on the bottom as we wrap things up here. And like I said, we do have a we'll get that bonus episode out for you in the form of a video game show. We're trying to get it maybe tomorrow or on Monday. We'll definitely get it out this weekend. I know everyone's kind of busy, but we'll throw it up, get at least like an hour or so of some video game talk that we've been promising you for like 2 months.
Yeah.
So, but it's just our schedules are just freaking crazy.
Yeah.
So, anyways, he is JR Akamba Kungan, also not JR Comics 42. And for one more time, JR, throw up that Null book you got there.
Yeah, it's already it's an auction. It's an auction right now, and so it's definitely going for a pretty penny, man. So I definitely it's it should be, I think, the same thing as my Instagram page. And so like if you have my Instagram, it has it on there, man. But I already had like a bunch of stuff sold already, so it's really getting close that time. I will be gone for quite a few, man. I'll be gone for quite a few days. Gonna visit my cousin family in Washington. So yeah, man, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be definitely fun.
So be on the lookout for that. This weekend we will do a gaming episode. Look for JR's eBay page, and then next Saturday we will be doing a live stream. We'll call it a bonus episode.
Yep.
And it will be our D23 episode live stream. During the presentation, we'll be breaking down all the announcements as they come out. We'll go do a little live Twitter look in because they are not. It's literally the only panel that D23 is not streaming next week. Is Hall D23 for obvious answers, but then of course they'll have usually by the end of the day. So, what was that?
None.
Usually you do that. You're gonna get like this. You're gonna get all serious on us.
No, I'm good. No.
Again, I am Kevin Pillow, the voice of Reason 23. Don't forget, you guys can text the show, and this is for anyone that's listening right now on the podcast format. 760-424-2848 is our PS Comics I Love You text line, and it comes right here to our studio. And of course, you can always comment on our on Facebook, on Twitch, and on YouTube. So, And so, one of the last questions that we asked on our Twitch channel was, should Disney expand Galaxy's Edge? Some of the other questions we asked, you can check it out on our YouTube page. What are some of your wild card predictions for D23? What does Disney have in store for us? On our Facebook page, let's see. What can we expect? What do you think will be announced in Hall D23 presentation next Saturday? So, yeah. Thank you guys for staying up late with us on a
Yo.
Saturday night. It's been
Yo.
fun. We were hoping that our little crowd that we gathered last weekend or the weekend before would come back, but they did not. And of course, don't forget, as always, our social media accounts: PS Comics I Love, the letter U on Twitter; PS Comics I Love You on Instagram; PS Comics I Love You on Facebook, and on YouTube; PS Comics I Love You on Twitch.tv. You can find our show in podcast form anywhere you download your podcast: Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and
man. Hey, quick question, Kev.
Yo,
does your camera and my camera look a little bit clearer now? Is
yours does look a little bit more sparkly? What'd you do?
Nothing. I did StreamYard just up there like coding or like because
I don't know. Yours does look really clean.
Yeah, dude. Like I like my camera has been the same camera for a while, man. Yours look pretty good too, man. Just I feel like the coding we're using StreamYard.
We do use StreamYard, and I know that they just did a massive update to it. I don't know if it had anything to do with the video format. I do use this both mobilely and on my laptop. I use it on my phone and on my laptop, and
I feel like it's that, man. Because like for me, it's giving me the exact same settings. I usually run it at 720p definition. This camera specifically can go to 4K, but like it's looking great. It's looking good. So
yeah, I'm doing the same thing. I'm using 720p, and I can actually go. That's the highest.
So like just doing it, I'm trying to find the frames per second type of stuff. It's looking like it's 60 frames per second. Like, yeah, the movement from frames from my finger, it looks great. For our audio listeners, I apologize. You're probably not seeing or anything like that, but like,
yeah,
so
fine.
It's fine. So we're just appreciating the
quality. You know what? Maybe right. I will definitely look into that. I know that StreamYard did just do a big update.
Trying to up his game, man. Great.
In the last couple of weeks.
I love it. Trying to up his game. Okay, man.
So,
but
by the way, check out StreamYard if you guys are into this StreamYard. And like I said, we'll try to stream some stuff on Monday for
Monday or Sunday.
Monday. Well, I don't get the game. I ordered the game online. I won't get it here until Monday. So we're definitely going to do Jedi Fallen Order on Monday. To do the video game episode. Probably either going to be sometime on Monday afternoon. We're going to be on Monday night. Maybe we could do it tomorrow night.
I'm down for tomorrow.
Be on the lookout. I'll post it sometime tomorrow. I'll post online our schedule, what we can do, what we can pull off. I just know that late Monday afternoon, Monday night, I am going to be at a barbecue with my brother. I'm going to be doing some wings for the first time. Yep. And I'll be also check it out. BBQ of Reason 23 on Instagram. Going to be posting some stuff tomorrow. I did a all-day pulled pork smoke, and I got a bunch of other stuff. I gotta do an info dump, as JR likes to put it. So be on the lookout for that. All right, guys, thank you so much. Have a great night. Enjoy your weekend. Happy holiday, or not happy holidays. Happy Labor Day. Go Trojans! They won today, and have a good one. Talk to you guys later. Enjoy. Bye.
Peace.
The fucking button